Okay, so in top of page Daled, it's talking about how the meaning of Ocher, Ponim Ocher, the mile of Ocher is which is the mile of Rosa de Liba. Says so that's the first line of page Daled. על בכדי שמבחינת עצם סוף יום שוחס הפונים, שמושחס התרא שמבחינת פונים, זה על תוקף מבחינת עצם הנעל, שזה דווקא מבחינת עצמס. So that is the Indian, that's why we need tefillah before Torah. ואחר כך, בכדי שיגיע בנפש, זה בסדר בדרגה, נעל tefillah בתורah. So first you have tefillah, which is the Ocher, which is the Rosh the Liba. It comes from, remember, we have three explanations of what Ocher means. The last one was the Kshe Orev, the stubbornness, the positive sense, Kakiv B'daitoi, and that brings about the Gilui Likus Milmail. וזהו דקודם מתן תורה הקדימו לעשה לנשמה. It also explains why before Matan Torah was Agdomas Nice and Nishma, because the Agdomas Nice and Nishma Bitl Shema Metavadas. ואומרו כל אשר דיבר השם נעשה, היינו שאין להגיע למה שיציב וכל מה שיצא ויעשה. So they said, we don't want to know, we don't have to make the decision what to do, we don't have to know what you want us to do. We give ourselves over in a way that whatever you'll tell us, we'll do. So all this is a sign of Kabbalah. So by this, and that God Matan Torah. Nein, that they miles Prince Ocher, Prince take of a bit beyezer. There's no shame Prince House from the Torah. So how do we get the union of the Gila upon him the Torah, the Gila of Atlas, the Torah only through the Amshacha of only to the avoid of Kabbalah. So the truth is, like going a step back. So in page Reish Beis, the union of Ocher explained three things. If you remember, the first thing was. The first thing also was Ocher means the beetle. Lechtach acharei b'midbar. That was step one. Then he spoke that Ocher is the union of what was the second thing? That's the beetle. That is. Then he spoke that tefillah is beetle because the tefillah is Ocher. That's the Ocher means the Gimel, the Yudches. The second, the union of Das. Das is the avodah in Midas, Tefillah. And the third thing what he said was also the Liba, which is the Akshanis. So the truth is this, he said it in three separate things. He said V'oid, he said V'oid. But in the end now, he said V'oid Yesh Israel. So he spoke about it from three different perspectives. Beetle and the Rotzev Shoiv and the Akshonas, but he all summarize all three of them now. He summarizes them all. They're all an expression of a very high level of Beetle. So, like it says now, if they have Beetle, okay, so we finished discussing the whole concept of Torah. The Torah is that Chachma Shalamah, Chachma Atzmas, that Mamsha Atzmas. That's the Agdama of Tefillah, Poniv. Now, taking us back to the beginning of the Maimer. The Maimer, what was the beginning of the Maimer? It's a Purim Maimer. It's not a Shavuos Maimer. It's not talking about Matan Torah itself. It's talking about what it said, that the ultimate certification, so to speak, of Kabbalah Torah was dafka in the time of Purim. So what is he saying? It says Kibul ayud masan shachel lasis. So the Gemara says Kibul mashikibul kimu b'kibul ayudim kimu mashikibul kvar. That's one pasuk. The other pasuk Kibul, same concept. Kibul ayudim masan shachel lasis. They accepted, but they started already earlier. What did they start? Right. That's what it says. Hada kiblu b'me'ach hashveres. Beginning of the process was in Matan Torah, but the other kiblu, but then they accepted. They accepted the commitment again in the time of Hashverosh. What's the pshat? Matan Torah, Yabit az benafsham levat. Says it's like a subtle, but very strong difference. The way it was Matan Torah, it was only something spiritual. In the spiritual sense, they put themselves away in a spiritual condition of bittul, like we said, nasa v'nishma, etc. But that's all. It's only in the spiritual sense. But nafshem milvat al memech hashveresh mitzvah b'peil mamash. The time of hashveresh, this expressed itself in actual putting their life on the line. The Eden were ready to be killed and to be destroyed just because of the Jewishness. Because if they would say that they if they would say we accept Haman's, the whole angle of this is an important thing that the Alter Rebbe and there is my mother and Chassidus in general discusses themselves nefesh of Purim. So that in most Mefarshim in Megillah don't talk about that part, but I think I don't remember who it was found that we did find was one of Mefarish, maybe it was the Al Shech or the Ramah. There is a single source to that way of looking at the whole story of the Megillah. It's true that that right away when was it Pesach already? The Gzeir started in Adar in Nisan Pesach already. Naaman was hung, but for the whole year the Gzeir went on for the whole year. So throughout the year the Eden were in a condition, a state that there was a major decree against them to destroy them until it actually happened, because we know that and the actual day of Purim the Goyim came to execute the Gzeir. So all the Eden were under they're under that decree that they're going to be destroyed as Jews. This is the solution. They could have avoided it by announcing to Chas v'Sholom, renouncing the Jewishness. If they would accept Haman, that which Vedic means it's denouncing their we call it in simple English the Jewish faith, denouncing the connection to the Ebershter, then they would have been saved. They wouldn't need to be in that condition of battle with the sun. So B'meili says she'imon chasham yekayim and nimchalem. V'om the kol hashon themselves never the entire year. The state they were existing in a state of themselves nefesh mamash she'mochonim laharigach. They're ready to be executed or avoid lichbach has v'shalom. So that's the understanding of this. Is the Alter Rebbe is the one in Torah. He introduces this unique view of the Ness of Purim. Like I said, there is some minor sources say something similar, but they don't make out of it such an important core issue of the understanding of the story of Purim. Alter Rebbe introduces this concept that the whole union of Purim is Mesiras Nefesh. Throughout the year, the Eden said we are ready to be Mesiras Nefesh, give our life away, but we stand strong connection to Yiddishkeit. That's what happened that year. The Kol Hashem Mesiras Nefesh, but Peil Mamash, which means so that is the contrast with what happened in Matan Torah. In Matan Torah, they were free people. They didn't. There was nobody was trying to destroy them. They just benafsham in their spiritual state. They were ready. They accepted the Kabbalah soul. But in Purim, it expressed itself in the actual giving, putting their life on the line. So that was the end. That's why Kibbalas Hashachil Asis. This was the ultimate end of the beginning that they happened in Matan Torah. Because they finally manifested, they expressed their commitment in such a radical way. They're ready to die al kiddush Hashem. So that was the ultimate kabbalah of the Torah. So where the in shiur Torah, like we said earlier, the amshachas ha'oyer is to the iskafi. Why much cost of David out pinchas shoftes? בעניין מסירת הגוף של מים מסירת הנשמה, ומה שכל זה מקום אחר מן יריחו ברס הרי. So now he says it in a different words. That's nafsham v'gufam. I mean, I express it in different. In other words, what did they give away? In the Kabbalah soil of Nasav and Ishma, it's mesiras nafsham. Mesiras nafsham means I give my soul away, I give my life away to the Eibishter. But there's also something called mesiras saguf. That in other words, the mesiras nefesh of Purim, they're ready for the body of Rahman to be to lose its life. So it's a different. That's the difference. It says in the Maimer Pinchas Choftes with Reb Marash over there discusses the difference between mesiras nefesh and mesiras saguf. There's a mile of mesiras saguf. What? Sorry.
מסירת הנשמה לחורה is higher than מסירת הגוף.
Okay, Lichora, you're right, but in that Maimon it describes that Mesiras Haguf is higher because why? Okay, we'll look up in the Maimon, we'll see what he talks about it there. Okay, I'll try to find it. But you can understand in this context the way he describes it, it's pretty logical that it's a higher level of Mesiras Nefesh, because if you Mesiras Neshama means you're ready to do it. Your neshama is committed, but there's no. Mesiras Haguf basically means that the guf is going to lose its life. When they give away the neshama doesn't lose. It says in like the Beetle Kayaneir, Ishtav the Malka, but it's a different. It's not such a radical breaking of your own ego. Okay, but we'll look in the Maimer Choftes. Maybe it explains it a little better there. It was only the beginning. In the Matniteret it was only the beginning. It's Ischil. Actually, זה הסחול לבד. גמר הקבלה ומחשבי יושב במסר סנמש בפעם ממש, על ידי זה המשיך מבחינת עצמוס. So that explains the Kabbalah. ומה שנאמר בלשון קבלה הוא why does it's an interesting deal. Why does it use the lashon Kabbalah? Kabbalah means you accept something that's there. It's more than Kabbalah. It's something that you draw. Kabbalah means I'm ready to receive, but here it's more than Kabbalah. See, it's medayik. What's the lashon Kabbalah? Gine mitzvot nefesh. Ma mitad asma shem chas sof kanal mekomer v'dei shalom mata. It's not much like baguf. Teklila zeh tzarich tchilas avodah tefila v'hagat Torah. So he says the mesiras nefesh that we speak of the nasav and nishma. So you have the introduction of. Like we said before, the tefillah and the Torah, etc. Okay, so basically what he says is the Kabbalah, the term of Kabbalah is used because Kabbalah means you become a vessel, you become a clear makabel. You have that ability to digest it, so to speak, to be klikibul. So that is the mesiras nefesh of B'Peil Mamesh that makes the person as a klikibul. He doesn't elaborate more. You know the mesiras nefesh B'Peil means
how is it Kabbalah?
Kabbalah means is a klikibul. That is not. It's not something. But it's a different. Let's repeat again what it says. Kini b'mesiras nefesh al ma'al mitam das mishum misatz v'kol mechdei shal mati enan nisham mechdei shal mati. Shal mati zaguf tia klila zeh tzarich tchila avodah tefila v'achakach that אבל מסירת נפש ממש, זה תחילת המשוך הסוער מבחינת תחילה. אז עצמיס, הנה בזה נעשה גם מבחינת כלי למטה, ונשם הבא של הגוף, זה כלי להגיל. is מחלק between these two ways how you click keyboard. In bottom you click keyboard, but in the first one, in order to have the click keyboard, there has to be some kind of a gradual type of avoider. You have to needs his bindiness. It doesn't come automatically. Mashenken when some says nefesh, it's automatic. That's another concept, needs a little more elaboration. We'll do the second time a little bit. So he goes back to what it was in the beginning of the Maimer. The Torah is a Megillah often. The Torah is Ponim, and Tvis Halas Ponim, and Tvis Sop. The Torah is Ponim, the Torah, Tvis Acher, and Tefillah. He repeats, he summarizes the Maimer. Yes, Maimer, Tvis Acher, and Satorah of the Shiur, Shmaimer Tamadas. That's the strength of Shiur, which is the stubbornness. It's about Tamadas. The Zeh Hashem is that sin Sop, it's Hamshach Ponim, it's Ponim. Zeh Shabbat and Torah Gimun Asel and Yishma. That's the universe that's never say at Cholop Christmas that's never said in Shoma. But then there's a higher level. So to themselves nefesh im shich ben atzmos v'gam shadezin nasa kenim lekabel. That the Kabbalah. They also became kenim. To themselves nefesh made them also kenim that they can actually, in a way, if you think about it, Mesiras Nefesh is the opposite of Kedim. Mesiras Nefesh means you give yourself away, you know. But the fact that this is the unique quality that we get to Mesiras Nefesh. The person is ready to give his life away. That itself refines him in a way that is actually a keli, actually a fitting vessel to be able to accept this gilui. Right, so that's quite a mimer. That's quite a strong mimer. Okay, we're going to go back a little bit the second time. Page 234. On him, so that is the key point of this mimer to explain the mile of Purim. Let's go back to page 234 on the second time. That's the pasuk in Megillah. So the simple meaning of Megillah means that the first time the Ness happened, you know, when the
what does this mean, B'Seudo? It was not in. It was in the Seuda.
Yeah, in the Sudas Purim. The Rebbe Rashab said the Maim in the middle of Sudas Purim. Yeah,
and nobody was there except the Bishtatzim.
I don't know. No, Lavdavka. I don't know who invited the Suda. I mean, maybe we have some more. Yeah, I'm probably probably there was some people invited. It wasn't a big crowd, but there was a crowd. Remember, look into Teras Sholem. In Teras Sholem, in the Sichos of the Rebbe Rashab, there's a lot of fabring that happened Purim Bes'uda. So he used to say Sichos. And also, this time, he also said Maimorim. He said a Maimor during the Suda. The middle of the Suda's Purim, he said a Maimor. Yeah. You're right. It's that interesting. It's a unique situation. Most of the Rebbe Rashab used to come down to the Zal and sit in front of everybody and say a Maimor. All the Bachim were listening. So this is like a different Suda. Okay, but yeah, that's what it means. A component.
Yeah, Tafresh Pei also the famous.
Yeah, Tafresh Pei. Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, but there also says Bisuda. I remember the Sichos he spoke about the sect and everything, but the Maimah I don't remember. Yeah, it's not the only time it says Purim Bisuda. Okay. Yeah, so what does the pasuk mean? That the first time the miracle happened, the miracle of Purim. So right away they even made it into Yom Tov. You know, they were happy. They were Mishnah Simcha. then the Kibbul Ayudim Sashachel Lasa, whatever they started doing the first year, when the Nes actually happens, and it accepted this Yom Tov should be every year. That's the simple meaning of the verse. Come Chazal and say, Omo Hazal, Gemara the Shabbos, the Shabbos, the famous Gemara of Matan Torah, the Sugi of Matan Torah. That it's a much deeper statement to give it It doesn't mean that when they started then. Chelo means they started Matan Torah. That during the story of Purim, they even finished accepting what they started in Matan Torah. Matan Torah Matan Torah was only the beginning of the acceptance. Then later on, they accepted it again. They accepted it's almost like a crisis breeze. There was a new commitment of the Jewish people to Torah that happened. So it's interesting. Like the Gemara actually. Yeah, it's one of the interesting statements all about it. The Gemara actually brings another passage. It says, Kimu v'kiblo ayudim. That's what it says in Gemara. Kimu v'kiblo ayudim. So Gemara says, Kimu mashi kiblo kvar. They certified or they accepted in the past. This other that it says, Kofalem akigigis. That is. The Gemara says the people, the Eden can come and say, it's no. If somebody is forced to do something against his will, can always say, that this is not me really. I was forced to do it. The male and Eden can always say, can be forced. The acceptance of Torah was not really legal, so to speak, because my daughter, you can say, I was forced. Forced. Okay, so man, there's the first time. It says that means ava. But even that's called force. The force doesn't necessarily mean physical force. Can be emotional force, overwhelming. He's smothered with smothered with love. There was so much love that he had no choice. So because I had no choice, I can always say I'm not liable because it wasn't my choice. I was forced. What?
What does it mean?
I don't know what it means. I'll tell you what Rashi says. Let me talk to Rashi. Rashi says, Gemara Shabbos. Rashi says, Oma v'siatu tachtisol, Oma rabavdime milam b'shakov le'mak gigis. Oma ravacha bar Yaakov mikan me'doy rabba le'rais. Zokt Rashi, she'im yazminem ledin lama le'kiyamtem shkibaltem alechem yesh lem tshuva shekibulem ba'ines. That's the me'doy rabba. When the Eibishter will call us and say, why did you do it? Excuse me, you were forced. Ba'inus. Kiblo ba'inus. If you're forced to do something, you're not liable. If somebody stands with a gun to you and says you must do something and you do it, then they say, that's not my fault. There's a famous thing, Yorg Val Yavel. It says that a person who, the Rambam says that if a person is forced to be a R'Dovid Olidort, it's Yorg Val Yavel. He should the halacha is he should die and not be Olidort. But what happens if he gave in and he did? So Rambam says he's not chayav because oinus. He did it by oinus. Anything you do by oinus is not chayav. So that's what the Gemara says in Shabbos. Kan mador she'im yazminem ledin lama lekiyamtem asher kibaltem aleichem yesh lehem tshuva shekiblu ba'oinus. It's a very strong statement. What is it? What?
The board. Moidor Rabel Reis.
Moidor. I say. I really remember every Toras Nedorim. Arei ani moisa moidor lifneichem. Ani mevatel mikan alav. Anytime when the person is moisa moidor, he says you should know anything I'm going to do now, I'm not liable for it. So that's what Moidor means. A Moidor means that he can make a statement that anything I did, I'm not liable. That's what Moidor means. Tosfos says here, okay, weiter, was it mal weiter? אף על פי כן, אמרו, ואף על פי כן, הודו וקיבלו במח השווירש. Say nachaname. Before Matan Torah until Purim, the Eden were always able to say, according to this Gemara, obviously, אין לנו קיבלו באינס. אבל בחשווירש קיבלו. the כסיף קימו וקיבלו היהודים, קימו מה שקיבלו כבר. You see, Tosfos says, so Tosfos says a little different. Tosfos says, the Gemara says that the Eden, we find there's a lot of places the Rebbe Koras Moshe Rabbeinu Koras bris b'nei Sol. So again, it's a krisis bris. So why do you say my door Rabba? Says Tosfos a little different. Omer Rabbeinu Tam dal pi adibo hoyo. Very what is the word? Kabal kocham. If the Rebbe tells you to do something, I mean, you have a choice to say no. Avo b'mei hashverish kiblu midaitam. They didn't know. But Tosfos says a different way. What is the call? Tosfos says something me'avas hanes. What, according to Tosfos' understanding, why kiblu me'avas hanes? Because they saw the big miracle. Which miracle is talking about? I heard the miracle of Purim, which is happening later. So that I said the way the Alter Rebbe understands it is different than the way Tosfos understands. Tosfos says me'avas hanes. So they heard that. I don't know. It should be when was the Nes? You can say that the Nes was right in the beginning, because Aman was hung. Then you can say that the Kiblu. But according to Parshas, Avas Nes means after the actual day of Purim happened. So that is so in that case, what?
It happened 10 months before of Gimel Sivan.
No, I'm talking about what happened the day of Purim. Yeah, I know how Gimel says no, but the day of Purim, the Nes was also the day of Purim. Vayakob say name Kirtzainam. That's when you make the Yontav. The Yontav is Purim.
Of Gimel Sivan, he said that he called.
Yeah, but Lepoil, why do we celebrate Purim the Chav Gimel Dal not Gimel Sivan? Because the actual miracle happened on the day of Dal Gimel Odor. Okay, we can you're right. We can argue all this kind of. There's more Tosfos here. Okay, we just brought it in as a background. Another point, like I just made, that's what's interesting. In Gemara, the Gemara learns this entire thing from the pasuk Kimu v'kiblu Yehudi. Kimu mash kiblu Korah. But Chassidus, I think the Alter Rebbe was the first to do it. Chassidus attaches this to a different pasuk. Pasuk Hamayim Asad. The kibul Yehudi such a chaylu lasis. I think there's a memoir of the Rebbe talks about it somewhere. I don't remember where. I have to find it also. The Rebbe speaks about Chassidus applies this drash of the Gemara to a different pasuk. I mean, they're one next to the other psukim. The kibul Chassidus connected to the pasuk. To the pasuk the kibla yudim shachayil lasis shachayil b'shas matan Torah. All right, all these are details. Okay. Now he's trying to say we have to understand. What exactly happened at the time of Hashverosh? That was the time of Kabbalah. It's quite radical. There was a whole bias. There was R'Dovid Olidort, Shlomo Melech, bias, Rishon, all the Nevi'im, everything happened. That's not enough. When would the Eden actually finalize the acceptance of Torah? Definitely Melech Hashverosh. What is it is it's almost surprising. What happened in Melech Hashverosh? The entire Jewish history from Matan Torah to Purim, nothing happened that made the Eden the certified the Kabbalah of Torah. Only Melech HaShverish, that's what happened. But you have to understand what is the message.
So what's that?
What?
What's the answer at the end of the Maimah? What's that?
The answer is the Melech HaShverish, the Mesiras Nefesh. At the time of Purim, okay, the answer is like this. Purim didn't experience a certain level of Mesiras Nefesh they didn't experience ever from Matan Torah until Purim. For an entire year, the entire Jewish people was in a state of they were under a decree of being annihilated, and they did not give up their nefesh. That's something that didn't happen until the time of Purim. That's the answer. This is the answer of Chassidus. The Mesiras Nefesh that they experienced Purim never happened till Purim. In that level of Mesiras Nefesh, the entire Jewish people was in a state of under a possibility of being annihilated, and they had the ability to give up, convert, like you said, and they didn't give up. Such a level of Mesiras Nefesh was not experienced until time of Purim. This is the general answer. But Elau Maimah is going to describe for what is the real deeper Siddish understanding of Kabbalah Torah. But mainly to understand why to reach such a high spiritual level, Kabbalah Torah, which is the Gilui of Atzmos, in order to reach that, we need such a level of Mesiras Nefesh. That's generally the answer. Okay, so I mean, this is the standard understanding of Chassidus as of the Inyan of Purim. Loving calls that tzarich lagdin loving Inyan HaTorah. Interesting. In other words, we're talking about Kabbalah Torah, so now to understand what Kabbalah Torah means, we have to first decipher what is the deeper and inner understanding. What is the meaning of the Eibush giving us Torah? Okay. Which, in other words, we have to describe and define what is Torah and what is Kabbalah Torah and why is Kabbalah Torah. Mainly, you understand better why the ultimate Kabbalah Torah was the time of Purim. So he started like this. Ine Gabeschari Eksiv says in Tanakh and Scharia, Ani Roye Megillah Offer. I see a flying scroll, which applies to Torah. We learned that we opened the Gemara the first time we learned it. The Megillah that Ischaria saw is the same Megillah that Yecheskel saw. That's what the Gemara says over there in Erev. What does it say? Okay, so it's a step further. What does it say about the Megillah that Yecheskel saw? It says, that this Megillah, this scroll, Torah, that Yecheskel saw is written front and back. Panim v'achar was maintus. Okay, now he's going to go into discussion based on that expression in Yecheskel in Tanakh. The Novi says Panim v'achar, so that will have to explain to us why Torah is called Panim v'achar. He starts talking about Panim, and he's not going to get to Achar until page Reish Beis. So he first describes what Panim means. The whole Arichas from here, from Kuf Tzadik up to Reish Beis. The whole Arichas we're going to concentrate on now is to explain what does it mean. So Panim, what is Panim? Panim or Torah. So Panim is Torah. K'meshekaso Chachmas Adam Torah Panov. Pasuk says Chachmas Adam Torah Panov. So the Chachmas Adam is Torah, but he's going to get past it more. Why is Torah called Chachmas Adam? So he goes into a few things. He goes a few stages. Number one, Amor Azab Medrash Rabbah. Chazal say Medrash Godel Koichen Shel Levim Shemedam Min Atzur LeYotzeh. The Levim have this power; they can compare, they can compare, visualize the tzura, which is the niva liyotza to the Eibishter. They call the Eibishter Adam. The mashakos of Adam koy al Adam elyon, which shakos of al dmus akise dmus kamar Adam olav, v'atayri chochmas Adam. So the Gevim have this power of calling the Eibishter Adam, Nadamit Tzor liyotza, and Torah is the chochma of the Adam. The Eibishter's chochma. So that's step one. But this itself is interesting. What is the pshat? What is the meaning when we say Lamailo Admus Akise Dmus Kamara Adam? How can we call the Eibishter? How can we refer to the Eibishter with the word Adam? The Eibishter אין לגמוס הגוף ואין לגוף. מה אין יציר אדם למיילו? What is the pshat? What is it meaning that the goof is an Adam? So the same question is not just in here in the Cheskel, but also in Pasha Bereshit. Pasha Nasa Adam Katzalmeni Kutmusay. Sha'adam Shalamata Nasa B'dmus Tzal B'dmus Adam Shalamayla. The Pasuk says, let's make man in our shape and form. Back to the kasher, what do you mean man will be shape and form? I mean, all these are like almost like rhetorical questions. We know that means something deeper, but we have to understand what is the simple message here. So the first, so he's going to have two steps. First is going to talk about Adam means Neshamas is so, but then he'll say that Adam is Torah. The first step he's talking about Adam is Neshamas is so. In the Ksiv, Kiloi Machshavos and Machshavosech. Pasuk says in the shiur that Loi Machshavos and Machshavosech. That the Eibishter says, my machshava is not like your machshava. What's meant this? The machshava thought, the human thought doesn't create anything. You only think something in your head, but nothing happens. It's just something in your own imagination. When we talk lemaila in the machshava, we describe the Eibishter's machshava, generally speaking, whenever we apply human terms to the Eibishter, apply human terms to the Eibishter, it's it doesn't mean obviously it doesn't mean that the Eibishter is the same thing as us. Anytime it says by the Eibishter, Dibur the anything, it's just a marshal. That in other words, we say when we want to talk about the Eibishter's relation to the world, so we use words that apply to us to understand the yachas of the Eibishter, that state. But it's not we're not talking about human thought. So that's pashtus, but that's the pashtus. The Eibishter's machshava is not our machshava, but that's not a chiddush. That you need a person. The Eibishter is not human. No, but really, it's a deeper statement. Means even in the level machshava, which is that level of expression of halakus, which is similar to what machshava is, by us, even in that state, there's a huge difference between the way machshava is l'mayla and machshava is l'mat. Balamata machshava ein usav l'maylo, kasher all machshava nisav machshava. The Mila, when we talk about machshava l'mayla, it's the type of machshava that the machshava itself creates. That itself create something new, unlike machshava shalamata, which is only imagination, only in his mind. So, what does it say? What does machshava shalamata mean? It says in Zoya, katsoli beusel mivayal. When the will arose, when the Ola built Sinai to create the world. What does Ola built Sinai mean? A machshava. It's a Beitz Chaim. It says it's Chaim. What does it mean? Shezeo p'chinas machshava agduma da'ak. Yeah, it's one of the pirushim. I mean, usually, even maybe even in this time for the usually look, so Aloy Sorotzen. So Aloy Sorotzen usually talks about Madrega, which is Lifnei Atzimtz. But one of the pirushim in Zoya says that it's Chaim that Katzali Berusal Alma Zeo Machshava Agdum Da'ak. So it's something called, again in Kabbalah we have called something called Adam Kadmon. Adam Kadmon is the first expression of Gilul Elikus after the Tzimtzum, and that is called Machshava Gduma. It's called the primordial thought. So so that's called Machshava Gduma. Says the Eitz Chaim, She'oloshem kol ma shenisa v'chol ishtalshus v'reish kol dargin v'sev kol dargin. All of Machshava is, in other words, in that state of what's called Adam Kadmon. You have the machshava, the thought about entire ishtalshelus. It's not just a thought, but everything exists there in that state of machshava. So Mele says machshava shalamayla, which is Adam Kadmon. It's not just like a potential of something, but everything exists within that machshava. Everything is created already within that machshava. Now that's step one. But then he goes further. Medrash Rabbi Omar. Then the Medrash says Zayin Dvorim Kodem Elohim. There are 7 items, 7 objects that preceded the creation of the world. Machshavna Shalisol Kodem Elchodom. But the within the 7, the machshava of neshama is soul. What? The machshava of neshama is soul. That is before all of within the 7 gufa. The first one is machshava of soul. V'hu the tchilas machshava ba b'seif ma'is. Now he's expressing how this was expressed itself in the actual creation. When the person starts the beginning, the kodem machshava, the beginning of everything, the beginning of machshava, that expresses itself in seif ma'is. Chassidus brings usually the mashal. The person all of machshavte to build a house. So when he built all of that before he even thought how and what and when and anything. So the first machshava he has, he wants to build a house. When is it actually expressed? The ma'aser, but save ma'aser after the house is fully developed. That is the expression of tchilas machshava. So he says the same thing we find when they get to the Shamas Yisrael. The tchilas machshava b'basar ma'aser. By Bria, we see in the Bria Sarelom, the Eibush that created the world. He savas Adam made the b'say b'yem hashishi. A machshava kodma neshamas. So the savas Adam. Adam means the neshamas. It says in Tani, va'yipa ba'av nishmas chaim. The neshamas Yisrael created the Adam. This world was created b'yem hashishi b'tzayfa Bria, but the machshava was in the beginning. When you start with machshava zu. So we have step 1. So we from this so we have a few points he made here. Point number 1 is that the machshava shalmayla is not just like a machshava sa'adam, which is just an imagination, a dimion, the machshava shalmayla is a real thing. That means something really is there. There's a real being, And the second thing is that what was the first machshava? First machshava was the neshamas soul, creation of Adam. Zeu pchinas tzir Adam l'maylo. So that is really what we mean when we say call the Eibishter Adam. What does Adam mean? Adam means the neshamas soul, the way they're kodma of machshava. Adam means the way the neshamas soul are on the highest stage in Elikus, in the machshava shel maylo. What, so in other words, what does Bnei B'chei Yisrael means?
Why is Chinas more b'soif ma'aser? Why b'soif ma'aser?
Why? So I okay. So, I gave it the marshal, but I gave it the marshal of we see the mice in our own behavior that in the human experience that the ultimate whatever you want right in the beginning when the person's first first machshava about one second. The person's first machshava about something, like I said, the Chassidus usually brings the marshal from building a house, anything. You want something. The first general idea that you want something. When is it actualized? But safe mice only when the thing is finalized. When it's finished, that's the general point of safe mice and machshava tchila. The beginning of the machshava is actualized when the mice is final, is finished. Let's say the Eibush wanted to create a world. What do you really want? You wanted the neshamas soul. The Sava Kadosh Baruch he wants the neshamas soul. So that was the Tchilas HaMachshava. But the Seif Might, when did he actually create Adam Rishon? After everything. First they created the Sheish and Ages. And Adam was in the end. So that's the expression of the concept of Seif Might and Machshava Tchila. So really, this is the system how things operate. The beginning of machshava is expressed in Seif Ma'is. But in our mind here, it's all this is like parts of 1 second. 1 second. One second. This is something. So he says it's interesting. He says what a Bnei B'chei Yisrael. What's in time? Bnei B'chei Yisrael. He teaches Bnei B'chei. B'chei means machshava tchila. That's the title. Bnei B'chei Yisrael. Okay. Now he brings in a pasuk from Mishle. The first time I learned was very kitzur. It says in pasuk like this, Mishle, very klamet. Mi ola shamayim vayerad, mi osa war b'chochnov, mi tzor mayim b'simlo, mi ekim klav tzor, mash moyu mashem b'noi. It's an expression. Who is he? Who is he? And what's his name? What's his son's name? That's an expression in pasuk in Mishle. Says the Chassidus. 1 second. Not as Chassidus. I think it's more before Chassidus. Let's see. Medrash says. No. 1 second. See what does it say? Mash moy mashem bnoi. Mash moy Hashem tzvoi shmoy. Mashem bnoi bni b'chayriso. What does he want with this? I'm confused. Why is he breathing? Yeah, that's a medrash. So I know why to bring this medrash. It's a medrash. Stick to the Rafkan. Let's see. Let's see here. Oh, that's a medrash stuck on that pasuk in Mishle. The medrash is in going in Tehillim. It says medrash Tehillim. It's a medrash Tehillim and the pasuk and it's stick to the Rafkan connected to the pasuk. That was missed it. Sorry, 1 second. Oh, it's one of the interesting things. Why does bring after this medrash? It says impossible, ni prayer Yisrael. But he says, Rav Kane, Mash Moy, Tzur Shmoy, Shadeh Shmoy, Hashem Tzvoy Shmoy, Mashem B'noi, B'ni prayer Yisrael Shmoy. Why does he bring this medrash from not to me?
Because he finishes off B'ni Yisrael.
Yeah, so the pasuk says B'ni prayer Yisrael. So what do we need? What is the medrash here? All right. Componim. Okay, so this is B'ni prayer Yisrael. Kamoy derech Moshe, Ben Chokuk Machsheva Sa'av, Kamoy Kanisham Yisrael Chakuk Machshavte Yisborach. That is the key, but that's already an expression. Derech Moshe Ben Chokuk Machsheva Sa'av. That is a famous thing that Magid, that the Rebbe always used to bring from the Rava Magid, from the Magid Yaakov, from the Magid Mezrich. The Eibush, the Neshamas Yisrael Chakukin b'machshavta shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu, like a ben chokuk b'machshava sa'av. Okay, we're going to revisit tomorrow.